back at waytotesting.com. So today we will discuss about the collection part 2 video. So this is the 8th video. So basically yesterday we have learned about the collection list tupples. Now today we will work on the set and dictionary. So as we know that in the list we have duplicate items or something, and tuples are something that which is similar to the list but you cannot modify it. Now coming to the set. So whether it's a Java or Python, always remember set store only unique values. It will not store any duplicate values. That is the benefit. And dictionary is something like you want to store values in the key and values format. For example, let's coming to the set. This one, a set is an unordered. So list was ordered, set was unordered collection that does not allow duplicate values. Means you cannot have the duplicate values. Okay. So like list we have represent with the square braces. Then you can say tuple we have the rounded braces. But set and dictionaries will be represented with as a curly braces. So let's see some example on sets as well. For example, I will create a set. You can say age. So you can say like I will use the curly braces. I will say 10, 2, 5, 9, 9, 5, 10, 2. Okay. So because it's you can say set, so it will not store any duplicate values. So if I will print something, or I will print something like this one for a in age, and I will say that print a. So you can say it will not print or it will not have any duplicate values. So let me clear this one. It's a lot batch. Okay. So now I will run my program. So you can see duplicate values have been removed. Only unique values are coming. Also you can see ordered is not maintained because 2 was coming first but it was not here as a initial stage. So the thing is this list is something that set is something it will not store any values. In real life, for example, that you want to store the email ID. So you never will store the duplicate email ID. Okay, because your email IDs are unique, or you can say any customer ID, it's unique. So for that kind of collection, we use the set. Again, if you in the list we use the append to add the values, but in suppose that I want to add some values in the set, what I will use? I will use add. Remove method will be the same, but here we will not use the append method. It was for the list, and here we will use add. Suppose that I want to add 15. Suppose again I want to add 15. Okay, so but it will store only one time as a 15. So let me run it again, and you can see we have printed out. Okay, so it is something like this one. Okay, so it was the set means unordered, but the collection that you can add, you can perform the remove, you can also do the unions. Suppose that two now you can do the intersection as well in the set as well. So, but let me cover to the next topic. That is the dictionary. So in the set we have learned it will not store the duplicate value, and it's an unordered collection. Now if I talk about dictionaries, very important, very useful in any kind of automation or development, because we are using it most, and it is little bit more tricky you can say. So sometimes we have the data like this one. Suppose that there is a I need to create students. Okay. So I will student data will be stored something like this one, like their name. For example, the name is way to testing. You can take any name, and their age. For example, our age is more than 10 years. We started 2016, and then city. Absolutely, it was a electronic city, which is Noida. Okay. So suppose that it have a we have created a dictionary. Again, dictionary and set both will use the curly braces. Okay, always remember list will be the square braces, tuple with the rounded braces, and set and dictionaries will be curly braces. If I will print simply, it will print all the dictionary as it is. Okay, I'm printing it. I'm running my program. Let me first clear it. Okay. You can see all the values with the listed key and values have been printed out. More significant way you can print, like you want to print like keys, comma, values in student dot items. This method we use to iterate the keys and values. So I will say simply print keys, comma, this one, comma, values. So more meaningful way it will print so that you can easily understand. You can say here name is something, key and value, key and value, key and value has been printed out. Okay, and you can say skills. You can add one more parameter over here using the coding. Okay, so now in this way you can also perform the operation. Now if you want to access the values based on the keys, how you will access? So simply you will say, suppose that I want to access the name. Okay, so name is the key. How I will enter? I will simply say student, then square braces I will say as a name. So whatever value this name stores, it will give it to me. One more time, let me take it. Student, I want to use age. Okay, so now you can say name was student and age was name was V2 testing and age was 10 years. So this is something that we use to access the values. Now from key you can access the values. Now interviewer mostly they used to ask, suppose that you have some value you want to get the keys, then how you will access. For example, what is 10, what is the key for it, how you will access. So this is an interview question. How we can do, we will simply say we will enhance this loop little bit more. Okay, it's simply I will say this will be the loop, and I will say if you can say value equal to 10, then print its keys simply. So if you want to access the keys from the value, then this will be the values. This will be the code. Let me run this one. So you can see what was the 10, it was the age. So let me summarize it. It's a nothing much more thing. If sometimes we need to store the data based on the keys and values pair. Okay, maybe it is the student one, and for second student we need to again store some values like this one, or this one is data store dot in. This is second student age is 2 years. Okay, and it's still there. Hadoop. So suppose that there are two students, you want to store the values in this way. So you will store the values like this way. Okay, so keys and values. So this will become a dictionary. So how to access the values? You can simply call their keys, the values will be accessed. You can access the complete keys and value by using items method. You can iterate it. How access you can keys from the values. You can just put a condition, if value is equal to this, then give me associated or appropriate keys against it. So it's all about the collection that today we have covered. The collection is something that you need to do the practice much more, and it's very easy in the Python as compared to other programming. So how much you will practice, it will get more expertise. So this is all about the collection. Tomorrow we will again cover some next topic. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.